Hi everybody, I'm Mohsin Mohi Ud Din. I'm the founder of Me We Syria and the Director of Storytelling Innovation for Ashoka's Youth Venture. Let's start with a Syrian refugee voice, shall we?
And what I've seen with ISIS, and after my family passed away, I didn't feel anything. I couldn't feel of people.
This was a testimonial from one of our Syrian beneficiaries in Turkey. And what it's telling of is the social and emotional barriers that a young person is coming into a learning space with. How are we tackling that, right? Education in a traditional sense, the formula of memorize, repeat, score, get a job, that's not relevant in the refugee context. What we need is to support refugees to build their resiliency assets and to enable them to discover themselves as change makers. And what we do with Me We Syria is we use the process, the cross-cultural, the long-running process of storytelling that's embedded in all of us. The process of storytelling gives movement and exercise to key changemaker skills that refugees need to thrive in a world where the only constant is disruption. So what we see is we have a methodology where we're syncing social and emotional learning with peer-to-peer psychosocial support that is replicated by refugee teams. So refugees are running through exercises where they go through mindfulness practice, visual thinking, visual writing, peer-to-peer sharing, creative collaboration, leadership, and they run and launch their own storytelling hubs and teams that enable them to touch on connecting a passion with a problem. And what we have now is a network of more than 60 refugees who are replicating this program across 3 countries that are launching on point to launch 50 of their own Me We Syria clubs that will reach 600 youth by the end of August. We're also piloting an assessment tool, a psychometric scale, to assess the behavioral and attitudinal changes of refugee youth in the program. Fresh data that just came in last week from Turkey is showing an 80% growth rate in perceived stress and situational control from beneficiaries. I'd like to end with the voice of the refugees once again.
But after the Me We Syria trainings, I could feel of people, connect with them. And I found out that there is a peace in the world.
This program opened many things inside me and gave me too much hope that I've lost 5 years ago.
This program opened the spaces, creating the reality youth wants.
ومن بعد ما بلشنا هون أنا كمان صرت أعرف حالي واكتشف نفسي.
مراد مشروع مي سيريا قدر يلمس واقع الشباب اللي عم بيعيشوا هلأ بطريقة سهلة وجميلة. قدروا من خلاله يتذكروا الماضي ليستفيدوا منه بصناعة مستقبلهم وبنفس الوقت ليكونوا فاعلين بمجتمعاتهم.
So Me We Syria is both a methodology, but the methodology is powered by a network. So the methodology is actually co-created with pre-selected Syrian refugee youth influencers who are already working and engaging with street children and youth, either in refugee camps or in urban areas like Gaziantep or Beirut, and other areas like Sarqa and Jordan. So we pre-select them, we go through a 5-day co-creation session, and I hate to say training of trainers because what do we have to offer them? They know what they need, which is why they're taking such ownership and self-replicating this program across 3 countries right now. So on the 5th day, they have a local action plan, and you saw some of the slides where they were coming up with their loan. So they're actually adopting this into existing programs. That's the power of this. We're not starting from scratch and creating something new. They're building in social and emotional learning and communication skills and empathy into existing programs. And they're more likely to take ownership of that if they say, okay, I'm already doing this, but I can build pieces of this into what I'm doing. Now, the tech aspect. We equip them with laptops, video cameras, and photo cameras to enable them to do certain exercises. So we've developed exercises founded on narrative therapy, logotherapy, and Ashoka's Youth Venture Changemaker kind of social entrepreneurship framework where they do video blogging exercises. They have perspective exercises where they're practicing, learning how to use the camera, practicing how to work in teams, right? So in the process of storytelling, they're practicing creative collaboration, they're practicing empathy, they're practicing taking in other perspectives and communicating an idea. The last aspect I'd like to say is we're 3 months away from launching an app for our replication teams. And this app will allow the psychometric scale that we're piloting. One, we need to improve that hopefully with the MIT community. But it'll enable them to put this data in real time, but also connect insights on how they're adapting this program as replicators across countries. And they'll be able to more easily upload the stories that are coming out, right? Because another aspect of this is, how are we promoting these stories? How are we taking back control of the narrative that is monopolized by ISIS and extremism and failed politics, and actually promoting youth ideas and youth stories? So we're 3 months away from launching that app, which I'm really excited about. And this scale that I'm talking about, I think, is really important. To me, this is bigger than MeWe Syria. If we can have more effective scales to measure attitudinal and behavioral changes of youth with this type of methodology, then we can't have funders and other people saying, oh, that's so soft, that's so fluffy. Really? Is it? 40% reduced rates in aggression, right? 60% improved empathy capacities, right? That's real. And that's what we need, I think, as a movement. I think all of us need that.